We're talking about the climate web. And one of the questions we frequently get with the climate web is, well, why can't I just Google what I'm looking for? Well, if you know what you're looking for and you can Google it successfully, then Google it or use Bing or another appropriate search engine. They're great for that. If you're looking for something else, then maybe the climate web is the better tool for you. What the climate web is intended to do is to help facilitate access to actionable knowledge. And you can see here on the slide that there are two issues with actionable knowledge. Actionable knowledge has to answer the is it worth it, can I do it questions facing every decision that anyone makes every day. And that certainly applies to climate change decision making. The problem is that when we talk about actionable knowledge, as you can see in this slide, it's pretty complex. You're talking about getting a specific piece of information to a specific person and getting through a whole series of barriers. Now, I've seen this happen. I know that actionable knowledge is real and the literature says it's real, etc., where you put a slide up on the screen and the response is, now I get it. Now I understand what you're saying. Now I understand why I should be thinking about climate change in a different way. That is not going to be accomplished through Googling it. Because the people involved don't know what they're searching for. They don't know what kind of information will be actionable for them. So to give you an example here of how Google and the climate web are different, we've sort of analogized it to climate fishing in the Google pond. Enormous pond, huge numbers of fish, but you have absolutely no idea what you're going to catch. Now, in the climate web, it's more like spearfishing. We've got a lot of information in there, but then we zero it down, we extract information, tables, figures, we organize it, we link it, we pull it together, we try and organize information for specific audiences so that when you spear that fish, it might actually be the fish that you need. In other words, actionable knowledge. So the climate web is following up on the idea of Carla Odell's, if only we knew what we know. We know an incredible amount about climate change, but each of us individually has access to almost none of that information. And in other words, many of us are not finding the actionable knowledge that we need. Now, we've seen it work in practice, working with companies, working with organizations. As this slide shows, having access to a tool like the climate web can really be useful. And again, this is very different from simply trying to Google it. So the climate web is intended to really help you understand the climate change issue from many different directions. And that's why you can't just Google it.